Welcome back to Flow and Flex. Today's workout is a booty burn. No equipment required, just you and your mat. Hey guys, Grace here. Welcome back. Today we're talking all things glutes. So have a little lie down onto your back, bringing those feet hip distance apart. We're going to take ourselves into some pelvic tilts to begin. Just press your lower back down through the mat and then feeling a slight arch through the back as you tip those hip bones away from you. We're going to move through a couple of these just to get the lower abdominals firing up, activating into those glutes and finding that neutral pelvis. Good, last one here, one pelvic tilt backwards and then finding that neutral spine. On this next one, we're going to start to lift the hips up into our high glute bridge. Tuck the tailbone, start to peel the back vertebra at a time off the mat, squeezing the glutes at the top. And then as you roll down through the spine, feel that tailbone hitting the mat last. Same thing again, so tucking that tailbone underneath, start to peel the back up, rib cage connecting at the top. And then deep breath in as you slowly roll down through the spine. I want us to activate the hamstrings by pressing through the heels in particular, just starting to wake up that posterior chain all the way down the backs of the bodies. Peeling that spine, lowering the hips. Good, and again, we take that pelvic tilt, peeling that back up, high glute bridge, squeeze the glutes at the top, and articulate on the way back down. We'll take that one more time, peeling that spine vertebra at a time up into the high glute bridge. Find that rib to hip connection as you start to roll yourself down nice and slowly. This time, if you wish to take it a step further, you can float your fingertips up towards the ceiling, testing that balance. By all means, if you need to keep those arms down on the floor, feel free to do so. This is just adding a little bit of an instability challenge here too. Finding that squeeze at the top, and then articulate as you slowly roll down through the spine. Perfect. We're going to take this just a few more times, finding that beautiful peeling of the back up, driving through those heels to activate into the hamstrings at the back of the legs. Final one, start to peel everything all the way up, holding those glutes at the top. Exhale, lower the hands down to the mat. Inhale, sweep them back up to the ceiling. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift the arms. Imagining there's two little pins sitting underneath your buttocks, allowing those hips to stay lifted. Try not to let that pelvis drop. Keep that rib cage connected and deep breaths in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. This time we're going to float the right knee up into tabletop. Exhale, return it back to the mat. Push through that right foot to let the left lift and exhale to lower. So just taking those single leg marches now, trying to keep that pelvis lifted, hamstrings and glutes active through the backs of the legs. Exhale to lower. Good, keeping those hips up, peeling those legs one at a time into tabletop and feeding them back down onto the mat. Exhale to lower. Good, starting to find a little bit of a quiver through the backs of the legs now. We're going to have to work hard to keep the hips lifted, keeping active through that posterior chain. Exhale, lower. From here, right knee to tabletop, we're going to take a single leg tap. Tap the toe to the mat and drive it back into tabletop. Your exhale comes at that lower. Inhale as you lift. Watch out that we're not flaring through the back and through the rib cage. Keep drawing everything into that center line of the body and finding that rib to hip connection. We'll take it twice more here. Exhale, tap the toes. Inhale to lift. Final one, exhale, tap. Inhale, lift, hold that tabletop. On this next one, can you extend your toes to the ceiling? We're going to take that little pulse. Drop the pelvis down an inch and drive it back up an inch. Keep pressing through your left heel and drawing those right toes all the way up towards the sky. It's 3, 2, 1. Replace that right foot down. Keep the right glutes lifted as you float the left knee to tabletop. Exhale, tap the toe. Inhale, float to tabletop. Really watch out for the flaring through the rib cage here as you get tired. Feel everything drawing into the center line of the body and pressing through that right heel. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Still picturing that little pin sitting underneath your right buttock now to help keep those hips up and activating by driving down through your right heel. We tap the toe, we drive back up to tabletop, this time extending the toes to the ceiling and finding that little pulse, dropping the pelvis down and up 1 inch, trying to jab your toe to the sky. Replacing that left foot, let's lift both heels for a little finisher here. Fingertips to the ceiling option, and then taking that double pulse. We drop the pelvis down, squeeze the glutes to drive it back up. Lovely, guys. Keep breathing here. I know those hamstrings and glutes are starting to get a bit fiery. It's 3, 2, and 1. Slowly peeling that spine down, lower the heels, and stretching both legs up towards the ceiling into that double hamstring stretch. Interlace the hands behind the legs and just gently point and flex the feet, feeling that stretch deepen down the backs of the legs. Breathing through it here. And then we're going to lower the legs one at a time onto the mat, bringing ourselves up to seated. We're in a bit of pretzel work here. Draw your left knee out 90 degrees in front of you and right knee 90 degrees out from your hip. Dropping down onto the elbow, we're going to start by lifting that right thigh a few inches off the mat and then lowering it back down. Ideally, we want to keep a beautiful right angle on the right knee and keeping that left leg just nice and soft, following the edge of the mat in front of us. Hand option is onto the mat in front of you for a little bit of stability, or hand to hip if you're feeling confident and want to test that balance. Feel that rib cage lifting up away from the mat and initiate the lift on the right leg with your thigh. Thigh lifts to draw it up. We extend the lower part of the leg. We bend back to the 90 degrees and tap the mat. We lift, extend, we bend, gentle lower. Watch out the knee and the foot to stay in a beautiful straight line here, and we're not tempted to dip the knee forwards or lift it too far high. Extend and bend. Good. On this next one, we're going to hold the thigh still. We're going to take those continuous curls. Extend the lower part of the leg and then bend heel back towards the glute. We really want to focus on keeping the thigh still, activating on through that right glute, really keeping the leg lifted at hip height here. Let's find that pulse to finish. You can reach fingertips to the sky to test the balance. Find those tiny little lifts. 3, 2, hold 1, and bend that leg in. Gorgeous work, guys. Give that glute a hit. Sitting straight up onto that left hip and reach the left arm up and over into our mermaid. Coming back down, we're in a regressed side plank. On the exhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Inhale, tap them to the mat. Underneath leg is bent for a little bit of support. Top leg is extending all the way out. Good. Press through that left shin to lift the hips up and then tap them back down onto the mat. Getting that length through the body, we're going to start to add a lift of the right leg. Tap it back down, let the hips drop. It's a side plank, lift of the leg, tap and lower. Good, left glute starting to get quite tired here. We're just getting a little bit activation before we take that pretzel work on the second side. Continuous lifts with that right leg. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower. Keep lifting up and out of that body, bending the knee forward to chest, and then exhale, extend leg long. Draw knee towards the chest, exhale, extend long. Try not to let the hips drop, stay really lifted through the waist. We lower ourselves down. Quick counter mermaid stretch here, reaching that left arm over to the right. And then we swing the legs round, ready for that second side. Right knee at 90 degrees, left knee at 90 degrees, dropping down onto the elbow. We're starting with those thigh lifts. Exhale, lift the thigh up to hip height. Inhale, tapping it back to the floor. Really feel like your toes are pointing out directly behind you and you're getting that little lift into the hips to avoid ourselves from collapsing through the rib cage. Thigh elongates, exhale, lift. Inhale, tapping back down towards the mat. Really make sure here the rib cage is lifting up away from the mat, supporting through the sides of the body. We're adding in that extension now and then tap the floor. It's one lift, extend the lower part of the leg, bend that knee and tap the mat. We've got 2 more here. Exhale, lift, extend, bend, lower. Last one, we lift it up. This time we're going to hold it still. Just find those continuous straightens and bends. I know that glute's starting to really fire up here, guys. Keep breathing. 3. We're going to start to pulse it up for 2. Find that final breath. Last one, hold and bend the knee in. Give those glutes a hit. Nice work, guys. Final little push here. We find that quick counter stretch before we take that side plank work on that second side. Staying with that right leg bent, left leg straighten. Start to lift the hips up by pressing down through the right elbow and tap the floor. Exhale to lift. Inhale to lower. So although we're in a side plank position, it's that underneath glute that's really working hard here to hold that body weight up. Think the shoulders down away from the ears and start to add that leg extension. Exhale, lift the hips, top leg lifts, top leg lowers, hips tap the floor. You're doing so well. We are so close to the end now, team. Find that little burn through the glutes. On this next one, we're going to hold ourselves up high. Bending the knee in towards the chest and then exhale, extending the leg long. We want to keep everything lifted up at hip height, even as those glutes start to tire now. Good, one more here, and then we're going to finish with that hold at the top before we drop the knee down, sitting up onto that hip, reaching the right arm up and over into that mermaid stretch. Nice work, team. We're going to take ourselves just through a quick stretch to finish. So crossing your right ankle over the top of the left thigh, interlacing the hands behind the leg and gently drawing everything into the chest. Give yourself a second here to breathe into that stretch, pressing the shoulder blades down into the mat, collarbones wide. Good. Maybe you want to add a gentle rock side to side, whatever feels good for you. And then swapping the legs over for me, drawing the knees back towards the chest. Knee pressing out to the side and gently breathing through the stretch. Adding in that rock back if you wish, just to find different parts of that stretch. Before we sit ourselves up, come into a crossed leg position, guys. We're going to take a couple of shoulder rolls just to release off any tension you might be carrying through that upper body. And then deep breath in, reach the arms up, find your prayer. Bring it to heart center. Give yourself a clap. Thank you so much.
Hi guys, we hope you enjoyed today's workout. We just wanted to take a moment to chat with you about our spanning mat and weights that you might have seen us use in our videos.
The team over at STAKT have very kindly partnered up with us to bring you a fabulous discount that you can use to purchase the mats and weights that you've seen in the video today. All you need to do is enter Flow and Flex 15 at checkout, or alternatively, we've linked it all in the description box down below in case you need to refer back to that.
So we use the STAKT Mat Pro, so it's got an extra grippy surface, but all of the STAKT mats fold, which make them great for transporting, but also you can have extra padding under your hands or your knees if you need it, and it also can help you be a little bit more creative with your exercises as well.
And we also use the amazing stackable weights. They come apart into 3 sections, each weighing about 2 pounds or the equivalent of a kilo, which means you can add 1, 2 or 3 sections together to get your desired weight for the workout that you're doing today.
We hope you get to enjoy them as much as we do, and we'll see you in the next video.